Okay, that's the end of the discussion. So what have we learned? We've learned how to identify or how to write topic sentence, how to organize the ideas and make the sentences coherent, also the format of the paragraph. So these are the things we have done. Now let's put these learnings into practice. I've got a worksheet with 3 exercises, and what you have to do is organize the sentences, then rearrange them, put them like a paragraph following the format of the paragraph what we have already learned, and finally you have to identify the topic sentence. But don't worry, we have 3 exercises. The first exercises I'm going to show you how you have to do it and what you have to do it. Alright? Okay, so now I'm going to show you the sample here. Alright, so before we move into the activities, let's recap what you have to do with the exercises I've given you. If you look at the first exercise, there are a group of sentences, but they are not in order. Okay, so you have to rearrange them in order to form a meaningful, coherent paragraph. So that's what you have to do. You have to rearrange them first, and then you have to think about the format of the paragraph we have already discussed and you know about it. And you have to place the sentences in correct order, of course, following the format of the paragraph. Then you have to identify the topic sentence, and finally you have to underline the topic sentence so that we understand that you really know which one is the topic sentence. So what you have to do is rearrange the scrambled sentences I've given you, write them in the form of paragraph, and then underline the topic sentence after identifying it, right? So this is the first exercise I've given you, and there are 5 sentences, and they are marked as A, B, C, D, E. But if you look at the sentences, they're not in correct order. Like number 1 is A. Next, add antifreezer to your windshield washer fluid, otherwise the fluid will freeze and possibly break the container. B. First, put on snow tires if you plan to drive on snowy, icy roads very often. C. Driving in winter, especially on snowy, icy roads, can be less troublesome if you take a few simple precautions. D. Finally, it is also a good idea to carry tire chains, a can of spray to unfreeze the door locks, and a windshield scraper in your car when driving in winter weather. And last, E. Second, check the amount of antifreeze in your radiator and add more if necessary. So these are the sentences. You really understand that definitely they are not in correct order. So if you look at the sentences A, B, D, and E, at the beginning we have next, first, finally, second. So these are the transitional phrases or connecting words to build up a smooth relationship with the previous sentences. So if you look at them, definitely they are not the first sentences to be set for the paragraph or to be chosen as a topic sentence. So number C looks more convenient to be the topic sentence. Okay, so let's put number C first. Driving in winter, especially on snowy, icy roads, can be less troublesome if you take a few simple precautions. So this is the sentence actually giving you an idea that what the other sentences or the next sentences are coming up. Now, if you look at the other sentences, we have first, second, next, and finally. So obviously, the next sentence comes is first, and which is B. First, put on some snow tires if you plan to drive on snowy, icy roads very often. So, and after first, it comes the second, which is number E. Second, check the amount of antifreeze in your radiator and add more if necessary. And the next 2 sentences, what we have is next and finally. And obviously we understand finally comes at the very end as a conclusion. So next is A, and the last one is finally. So these are the sentences put in correct order to write a paragraph. All right, but if you remember the format of the paragraph, you can easily understand that this is not a correct form of paragraph because the sentences are individual, not put into places or in the correct format of a paragraph. It should come one after another without any break or spaces. So, and before that, let's identify the topic sentence. So the first sentence is actually giving the whole idea of the paragraph. So this is the topic sentence. It's very easy, right? So now put these sentences in the form of paragraph. So the first thing of a paragraph is the indent. What you can see is before the first word driving, we have an amount of space left. So that's the indent actually. And then we are putting all the rearranged sentences all together without any spaces or without any break. So now this looks a perfect paragraph. With an indent, the sentences are all smoothly one after another. And if you read the paragraph, as I talked about the voice and the coherence, so that's we have in this paragraph. So this is a perfect paragraph. And the last thing you have to do, underline the topic sentence. So that's done. So this is the exercise 1. Now what you have to do is exercise 2 and exercise 3. So please sit in pair and the very same way finish exercise 2 and exercise 3. All right? So let's practice.